Hey, welcome back to another episode of It's a Football Thing. I'm your host, RJ, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host. Great to see Rob the Reb Devil back from his glorious trip down to Melbourne to watch his beloved United. I'm surprised he's made time to meet with us mere mortals after being able to meet with some of his legends. But Scott, you're also back. It's always a pleasure to have you on board, mate. How you doing? I'll go for you first.
Yeah, doing well, mate. I'm spinning out. I'm on a new laptop today. I've got a new laptop.
You look different, mate. You look different.
Yeah, just a little bit close. I'm not used to seeing my head this big, but you know what? We can live with it. We can live with it. Something for all the ladies to enjoy.
Absolutely. Speaking of enjoying, and the ladies particularly, Rob, great to see you back, mate. And before you say anything, I just want to say congratulations on hitting the 1K mark on Twitter. Long overdue, my friend. I hope you get to 10K in no time. But how you doing, my man?
What can I say? I'm halfway in between still on an adrenaline rush and with bad withdrawals from the weekend, mate. I had a ball, mate. There's no other way of saying it. It was a football thing. It was a United thing. I just want to do it all over again. I loved it.
Brilliant stuff. And speaking of a football thing, how am I doing? I'll tell you what, I'm feeling tired because I had my stream earlier with my good friend Statman Shane to talk about the not so great result with Chelsea earlier, but we had a very good conversation. Been very busy at work. I had coaching yesterday with my little one, and mate, time flies when you're having fun.
Spot on. Well, let's kick off because we've got some transfer rumours to look at. All of our teams have had some preseason fixtures since we last talked. So we want to unpack them. Of course, we are going to do an FPL team reveal. We are revealing RJ's team tonight. And of course, whatever comes up in the live chat, we're going to cover too. I just want to acknowledge some of the champions in the live chat. We've got our man, FPL Rubber Ducky. Good quacking evening to you, my man. We might reveal your team. We might reveal your team on Tuesday's show if you're happy with that. Let me know via DM if you're happy for me to share. We got Tom from the United Pubcast. Welcome back, Tom. You look like you had a ball. We got Justin here. Justin, good evening. Dieter, good friend of ours from Belgium. And there's some international love tonight because we've also got Ayan Koso all the way from Nigeria. Welcome. You are always welcome here, my man. Welcome to the community. The concierge. We've got Shano here, our brother from just a little bit up north. Borche from the football capital, the man, the myth, the legend, back from Melbourne. Can't forget this guy declared we love him. And Chelsea Database, good morning from England. We've got Nigeria, we've got Oran Park, we've got Belgium. It's an international football thing this morning, and we love it. Before we get into the show, if you're watching this on repeat or you're watching it live, maybe just put in the comments, drop a comment letting us know a player who's impressed you in pre-season, someone you're looking forward to seeing feature more. Let us know in the comments. We always check those. Love to see what you've got for us. But let's begin with your Chelsea boys, RJ, because you had a mare this morning, mate. Another penalty shootout, woeful loss. That Panenka, whew, tell you what, that was dreadful. Look at Robbie flexing the mug. We love that.
What happened?
What's going on?
What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. Mate, I'm in pure shock. That's what happened. I'm not sure if any of you guys caught what happened at the start, because I've got a lot of friends over there that were at the game. Alex, Travis, Max. There was a fair few of them that I know that were there watching the game, and some great photos up close, by the way. Awesome stuff. But there was actually a delay to the game because of severe electrical storms outside the stadium. They had to delay it by about an hour. And I jokingly said beforehand, it's the sort of the calm before the storm. It's foreshadowing a bad result. And eventually that's exactly what happened in the end. But it's just, you know what it's like when you've got that much disjointed changes and the players are all over the shop. But beyond the actual tactical stuff that was going on and all of the lack of chemistry, the players just weren't on, in my opinion. There was a few individual displays that were quite good. I thought, the Jovicic pairing in the first half, Mateo Kovacic, Jorginho, really helped us get a bit of a rhythm going in that first period, controlled possession. But once again, it was the sort of like the Chelsea of last season or the season before where you dominate the ball, but the defense is so well organised, it's really hard to break them down. There were a few half opportunities. Pulisic, Captain America, scored a nice little dipped finish into the far corner in front of his own crowd. So that was nice to see. And it was also good in the second half to see the likes of Raheem Sterling making his debut. He was very good. He was dropping deep. He was going left and right. He had a nice one-on-one chance saved by the keeper at the near post, which was quite unfortunate for him. But overall, you concede a penalty in the last few seconds of the game. They scored it. Then they had penalty shootouts. And it's just one of those things, again, where the result didn't mean much, but I think I was more disappointed with the overall disjointed nature of the performance. I was expecting better from a few of those players. So Callum Hudson-Odoi comes to mind. I wanted more from him. I don't agree with Conor Gallagher being played in that deeper lying midfield position. I think he's more of an attacking-based midfielder, needs to attack from the front. But ultimately, this is Tuchel's experimentation process, and who am I to judge him? I just hope it pays off and we get a much better performance against your boys, the Arsenal.
Yeah, and I think we can drop that news, RJ, about this weekend's fixture. The boys are going to be on. We're coming on, doing a live stream after that match. So after the Chelsea-Arsenal game, keep your eye on our channel, hit that notification bell, because we will be coming on to react no matter what the result. No matter who wins, who loses, someone's getting bantered. And we'd love you to be here to be part of that experience. It'll be a different time for us. So
IFT preseason derby.
That's it, mate. The best kind. We will talk about some Chelsea transfers a little bit later in the show, so make sure you stick around and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. RJ, $1 million question, because I was at work during this game. We can't all be living the dream. Did Sterling play? And if so, how did he perform?
Yeah, as I was mentioning, he came on as a substitute in the second half. But it was a completely changed 11. So he had people like Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher in the midfield. He had players like Kennedy as a wing-back, Chilwell. And it was also nice to see youngsters like Levi Colwill, who had a mixed performance, to be fair. There's a lot of raps on him. He had a mixed performance. Ethan Ampadu, you'll hear me talking about him. He played some killer passes. But Raheem Sterling, again, very solid signs from him. Got involved in the build-up, was dropping deep. He used his acceleration to break a few of the press that was coming in on him. He linked up well with the likes of Mason, with Kennedy, with even there was one play when they're on the side, Conor plays it to Mason, first time pass in behind the defence as Sterling gets in behind the defender, and that was the one-on-one situation I was talking about that's Drew to save at the near post. So overall, Raheem Sterling on his debut performance was one of the more shining lights on that display.
He's gonna bang in goals for Chelsea this year. You know it's coming.
Hope so, mate. Hope so.
We're going to talk a little bit about Manchester United, Robbie, as well. And speaking of United, we've got Emad here from Man Cave United. Make sure you check those boys out on YouTube. I know he was down in Melbourne too. And congratulations on your big news too, Emad. I'm not going to drop it here, but congratulations anyway.
Our new signing is coming soon.
That's it. Future Arsenal striker, deadliest front three on YouTube. Well, your words, not mine, man. But let's talk United. They've obviously been down under. They like it down here because they've turned in some good performances. Just maybe give us a couple of your takeaways, Robbie, from your preseason so far. A couple of players who've maybe stood out, a couple of things that have impressed you about Ten Hag, and maybe anything you'd like to see added.
Yeah, look, 3 games all up, 11 goals for, 2 against. No one's getting excited. That's the thing. But there's a lot of positivity. That's the big thing. A lot of positivity is coming.
This guy's getting excited.
I think Borja would get excited if he was an Everton fan, to be fair. But yeah, look, there's a lot of positivity in the camp, and that's what we want. Considering the back end of last season, everything was just felt like we're at the bottom of the barrel. So, like I said, the only way was up. I'm really excited for Ten Hag. This guy he's serious. He's very respectable, and he's down. He's not downplaying, but everyone would have a big win. Oh, everyone's kind of jumping up and down. This guy's like, I like how he points out there's a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of work to be done. He wants to get the boys on the park. We get to see a lot of his training sessions. He's there. He's calling out the boys. He's one of those ones on the touchline screaming at people. And look, everyone's each to their own. I like that kind of coach. He's there. He's showing the tactic. He wants, if the boys, I seen footage of opening train session when he's calling out Sancho in front of 10,000 people in Bangkok when he made a mistake. So, look, it's good because the boys are obviously getting the fitness up, getting the minutes up. You know, the first game against Liverpool didn't take too much from it. You know, obviously Liverpool didn't turn up. They played with 3 different teams. I think every 20, 30 minutes they put up a whole new team. So we kind of played 3 different Liverpool teams. Obviously had a good result. The second game, obviously, I was out against Melbourne. Out of the 3, I actually thought this one was probably the least best performance. And it was nothing to. It's because we were so good on our pressing in the Liverpool game, and then obviously last night was the best of the 3. I really thought we're starting to go through the motions again. Not a full strength Crystal Palace team, but you know the kind of first 11 or the players that you'd think would be in that first 11 against Brighton are starting to get more minutes. He's gone from obviously the first 2 games were 45 minutes a half. Now he's kind of given 60 minutes in the legs and then making the big calls. And yeah, look, obviously the standouts have been our front 3. Obviously Martial 3 from 3 in 3 games, and that's massive for him considering he was one of the ones that had a shocker last season, went on loan. Again, nothing happened at Sevilla. He's come back. A lot of question marks. A lot of people expecting him to exit. But obviously, with the question marks on Ronaldo, he's doing everything he can at preseason to step up with a new clean slate. For me, Jadon Sancho, I've got massive raps in this guy from last year. I didn't, I support him through. I bet you do. But here's my star boy, man. I really think he's a player that can really shine under Ten Hag and his system. The boys are pressing high. The crazy thing is what I said the other day after yesterday's game is, I sound stupid, but I do not see at the moment what the effect is going to be if Ronaldo does stay, because there's so much fluidity and pace in that front 3. The link up, the way they've got, they can swap sides. All 3 of them can move along the front 3. 1 minute Sancho's playing on the left, next minute he's playing on the right, swapping with Sancho. Obviously, Rashford and Martial, they can both swap between going down the middle and on the left-hand side. So, like I said, it's crazy at the moment, but at the moment, Ronaldo is our player under contract. And, I think a lot's going to be seen in the next week when we do, return from tour to Manchester or to Europe anyway. We will see if he does link up. Obviously, he's not going to travel out to Australia, but I do think next week we will see, some kind of news. Is he going to stay? Does he want to come out and say, look, I do want to leave? And then that's what we want, because then we can plan the rest of the transfer window around that. Get him out the door, get some money, bring another player in. Because if we're going to leave it to the deadline and then he does go and then no one comes in, the thing I'm worried about is very, very thin squad at the moment. One player goes down and we've got no backup. Particularly up front. And not just no backup, but our backup is a big drop in quality. And like I said, it's got nothing against Anthony Elanga, but he's a young guy that's just done getting a few appearances at back in the last year. Again, no Mason for the serious allegations with him. We've just got one of those guys drops, and I think we're in big trouble at the moment.
RJ, do you think that Cristiano Ronaldo can come back into this team from here, or do you think it's already damage done? Because I don't think anyone genuinely believes that, he does have a real, he may, but I don't genuinely believe he's got a serious family issue that was permitting him from traveling. Might be wrong, I don't know, but missing your preseason with the new manager, it's not the best way to start. Do you think he can work his way back in? We know he's going to score goals. Wherever he plays, anytime he's on the pitch, he's a goal threat. But United have looked capable of doing that this preseason without him. What do you think, RJ? Do you think the damage is already done?
I find it quite challenging to think how he works his way back into it now, to be honest. I just think it's a square peg, round hole analogy, man. Again, we know the superstar that he is, the legacy he's set, he's already safe. Everybody knows that. But under this particular manager, this particular style of football, I think the chapter has closed, to put it bluntly, for him, unless, given the 5-sub policy, given that there's a lot of games to be played, if Ronaldo is happy to swallow his pride and accept a bit part role to be coming in as a super sub and not have as much time, then that's a possibility. But I just don't see it like that. I think he's still got enough capacity in him to go somewhere else, another good team, and be able to continue building his legacy. So, in short, I think, the curtain's called for him at United.
Just yes or no, would you take him, RJ, at Chelsea right now?
No, because I think it's similar to what Tuchel does. I just think his profile doesn't match. Yeah.
Okay, fair shout. Robbie, just quickly before we move on to Arsenal's pre-season results so far, and I want to talk about Everton too, because boy, did they have a nightmare. You've obviously had that experience down in Melbourne with a lot of our regulars and a lot of United content creators. Just give us one highlight from the trip, mate, because there was so many pictures that have been on our socials. Check them out. Check Robbie's socials out too. But give us just one highlight.
Look, I have to say just the United family, mate. That's what I loved about the whole thing, how just everyone came, Perth, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbournians. There's people from Manchester there. The time at the pub, it sounds, very corny, but mate, just everyone coming, singing, having a drink, meeting people face to face. Like I said, half the United boys in the chat here, content creators. For instance, someone like Justin, it was great to meet him face to face, mate. Top bloke. It was just nice to see him. Like I said, share a drink. As a Wanderers fan, I love atmosphere. So singing, atmosphere, marching to the field together. To the first time for me being to the MCG, which was a beautiful stadium, a massive stadium. Like I said, out of all of it, as like I said, where is the pastor? Everyone knows my thoughts on McTominay, and had to say he come up and we got some signatures and stuff off him, and apparently he did come up and signed Tom's flag he had for him, and he took an actual photo with his own phone. So we're waiting for that to go on the socials. But if it doesn't go on the socials, it never happened. All right.
But look, hey, Scott, can you believe this, Scott? Hey, can you believe this? All these United fans with all their photos of Ten Hag's, Harry Maguire's in your apartment, Tom. Everybody's best mates with Jadon Sancho. And poor Scott and I just sitting in our homes watching football like normal fans.
Just waiting for a mate. Just waiting for a mate. And then
quick little one, like I said, when Bruno came over, I was that shaking to think, if I take a selfie and I click my lock screen and I get the one opportunity and it goes out the window and I don't take the selfie properly, I'm going to die. So I said to Bruno, can you take the selfie? Took my phone, smashed out a mad selfie, and mate, I think I'll always remember something like that. It was a cracker.
Make sure
at least it wasn't like Ronaldo, like when he smashed that phone out of that person's hand that time. Remember?
Don't be like that.
Let's not digress, boys, because there's something big that I do want to discuss as well. The Harry Maguire boos, is it overblown? Did it happen? And what's your opinion on it? Let's not go too far down the rabbit hole with this. I'm going to play a bit of devil's advocate. Not that I ever do that, and I'm going to. I saw a lot of criticism from United fans, and I'm not talking about our boys here. I'm just talking in general from the wider social media Twitter sphere. I've seen over the last couple of years, particularly this past season, immense criticism of Harry Maguire, intense scrutiny, criticism, people wanting him out of the club, people questioning him as a captain, as a player, as United material. But I've also seen a lot of people saying, how dare fans boo him? Now, you can't have your cake and eat it too where I come from. Do I think it's embarrassing? Absolutely. But every fan base has moments that are embarrassing. But you can't criticize this guy for a whole season, put stick on him, and then be mortified that he's been booed in a match by fans who obviously don't think he's up to the cut. Now, from what I could see, from what you boys are doing, he seemed to really engage with the fans, seemed to be a top bloke, and no one's questioning him as a bloke. But as a player, as United material, I just don't understand where the shocks come from. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I'm shocked at the shock. What do you think of it, Robbie? Where do you stand, mate? You're a United fan. You know it best.
I'm a United supporter, and supporters are there to support the team. And like we've talked about here before, and we've all done it for numerous players. Criticism is fine for me. And you know me, we've all said something about Maguire as a player and in performances, but we've never gone out and called the guy names, or I've never booed a player in my life, and I can honestly say that. how they talked about them, their performances? 100% yes. It doesn't look good. Obviously, like I was home for the second match, watch on TV. The first 10 minutes, every time he touched the ball, you could hear the boos, man. It doesn't look good, man. And this news has gone around, literally global news, especially around the UK, Sky Sports. All the journals have put it on Twitter, and it just looks bad, because again, there was a certain amount of people, a percentage of people that made it look bad for 75,000 people that were there, and a good majority of them were supporting him. So for me, the bloke, Tom O'Toole, he got the meeting, top bloke, captain of Manchester United, but I just think don't do it, mate. We should be lucky enough for a team to come out all the way to Australia. Everyone's excited to go and support them, travel to support them. Why are you going to boo someone? I don't know.
Fair shout, mate. Fair shout. RJ, where do you stand on it? To boo or not to boo? That is the question.
Nah, it's not. It's not in the spirit of it, man. It doesn't help. It doesn't accomplish anything. You can express your frustration in a particular moment when they do something, but even then, you would say, "Hang on, how's that going to help?" Like if I scored an own goal 100%. And a bunch of people start booing at me, I'd be like, "Yeah, thanks. That's going to motivate me to not do that next time." Like it's
now
not.
I've known you a long time. You walk off the pitch and have a smoke.
Mate, it wouldn't go well. It wouldn't go well. But anyway, the point is, it doesn't help. People get emotional. We love the game because it gets our emotions going. But save it for afterwards, mate. Save it when you're at the pub with mates saying, "What about player X? I can't believe he did that," or "I can't believe that shonk of a pass," or whatever. Don't do it there. You embarrass your club. You embarrass your fan base. But another thing I just thought about it, and I'm keen to see what other fans think as well, is does your perception of a player change the moment you get a photo with them? Like, for example, you judge from a million miles away and you might have a certain feeling about them, but when you meet them in person, your idol, essentially, you meet them, they're nice enough to take a photo with you. Does that make you stop and think about, do I treat this person differently now because I've had a chance to meet them? Because I think subconsciously it does. I think going forward after that point onward, because you would know, like if Maguire puts in a stinker and you've had a photo of him, I reckon the next time he does something, you'd be like, "Oh, I might not put that tweet out because I've met him. He's not that bad." You know what I mean? I think that people subconsciously do that. What do you think?
I completely agree. And I could nearly put my hand up for it. Like I said, if you were to ask me on performance-wise, Scott McTominay and Fred for the past couple of years, nearly a big chunk of United fans have said we need to upgrade on our midfield. And I have to take my hat, especially your Fred of all people. He was one of the first all 3 days that came out, gave so many times to the so much of his time to the fans. And I mean, like when I say he came around, signed every single person, selfies with nearly every single person.
Brilliant.
And they don't have to do that, mate. Like I said, some of the players gave a wave, acknowledged up to the hotel room. That's fine, mate. For him to come out, like I said, nearly every single day, I said to him, "Thank you so much, mate," when he was there taking a photo. It's just a bit of respect, man, like, and when you're there, look, I seen some hooligans there too, man, that were like booing players that weren't signing stuff. Like, just for me, I was happy enough to see him walk onto the bus. So I said to myself, if I get a signature or a selfie, this is just an extra bonus for me. So, like I said, the person and the player sometimes has to be put apart, because all those players I respect that gave that little bit extra time or acknowledged the fans. It's just natural in sport, in everything in life, mate. People are going to get criticized for something. In work, in day life, in sport, it happens, mate.
But in that moment, if they score an own goal in a Champions League final, all that's out the window, mate. All that love's gone.
And look, it is. I think you've got to also take some of the sentiment out, because this is their job. This is their job as well. And if you're not performing well at your job, it doesn't matter how nice a guy you are, there's always going to be consequences and you're always going to lose support. But I know for one, everyone's always talking about how they like to get their popcorn out for you Arsenal fans. I'm looking forward to watching how the season unfolds, particularly with United, because I know you've got a few question marks and a few players who are really going to be in the spotlight, and Maguire is one of those key guys. And that's not for him as a bloke, it's for him as a player.
Just a quick one here, just on a quick fire, boys. Football thing or not, the Mexican wave?
No, it's disgraceful. I hate it.
I was sitting down every time I went round. I hate it, mate. It makes it more. That's an embarrassing thing as well for us to think that we're that bored at a football game when someone like a Manchester United or any of the European giants that come out, I can't stand the Mexican waving. Like I was waiting for someone to start throwing paper planes because I can't stand that.
Oh, it happened, man.
No,
It happened in
Oh,
Chelsea 2014. It happened when they came in
I was
Sydney.
there.
And
I was at that Chelsea game.
I caught one of the planes and I scrunched it up. It was just frustrating.
Boys, let's
Yeah.
not share stories of what badasses we are scrunching up paper planes. Let's move on because we are digressing, and that's not a football thing. We've talked plenty of Chelsea. We've talked plenty of United. I'm going to be really succinct. I'm going to be very succinct in terms of Arsenal's preseason. We had a good result this morning. It was a 3-1 victory. Not the world's most beautiful goals. A deflection for Martinelli, a scrambling goal for Nketiah. But overall, 3-1, more goals scored. And that's a good thing for us because we were having trouble finding the net. Again, Gabriel Jesus looked very, very dangerous. I think he's going to be a difference maker for us. So it was good to get those results, good to get some wins under the belt because winning is a habit. Winning is a mentality. And I don't care if it's preseason or you're playing someone's under 10s. I want to win, and I want to win ruthlessly. So really happy with the preseason. A couple of big questions for me are around our centre-back pairing. Who is Arteta going to start with? I think Gabriel is locked in. But Ben White, Saliba, God knows. For me, Saliba's having a good preseason. I just feel more safe with Saliba on the ball, and that's weird because I've not seen much of him. But he just has that air of confidence and air of calm around him. And I think Ben White, who's a good player as well, just sometimes has moments where he's ball watching or gets dragged into the wrong spot. So I'm curious to see who Arteta starts. I'm certainly curious to see that. We know that Jesus is going to be starting. So, yeah, a good preseason so far. And I want to quickly acknowledge, and we'll again let's try and be succinct with this. But Everton, I think it was a 4-0 loss to Minnesota, and that is on the back of a really disappointing result against Arsenal, where mate they didn't even look fit to be on the pitch. They looked dreadful. I have serious concerns for Everton. I don't think they've got a good manager. My thoughts on Lampard are out there for everyone to see. I don't think they've got a good squad, and I don't think they've got a good backroom and centre direction. I don't think there's anything promising at Everton at the moment. And for me, not only will Lampard be the first man sacked, but they're almost at lock level for relegation from me. RJ, tell me why I'm wrong. I know you're a balanced blue. You love Frankie. Please feel free.
Well, the balance part is you're making a judgment 2 games into a preseason. So to say what's going to happen 8 months down the track, severely premature, in my opinion. I know you judge what's in front of you, but the reality is you've gone not even 1% into the future. So bit extreme. I get what you're saying. They've been dross, terrible. If the season started now, definitely front runners for relegation. They've been hopeless. They've signed no one. They've lost a quality player for their profile. I don't really like Richarlison, but he is a quality player on his day. I think you're right. There's a combination of it's not just a poor, like the manager's inexperienced. I think, in a right setup probably could do a lot more, but it's not just that. Squad, backdrop. There's a whole bunch of things not connecting there at Everton. Yep. I do have concerns about them, but ultimately it is pre-season. There's a few more games to go. If I don't see any improvement for the remainder of it, and they've got Chelsea first up, who they tend to do well against at Goodison, if they start off their campaign in a similar fashion to how they've started this preseason, mate, I'll probably be on your side of the fence pretty quickly, to be honest. So don't want it to happen for Frankie for obvious reasons, but, mate, they need to get their act together straight away.
Robbie, any quick thoughts for our friends over at Everton?
Yeah, look, lock in. I was reading one of the boys that came on the pod from the Blue. Sorry, it's gone mind blank. One of our Everton special guests we had on last season. And, mate, they were calling it how it is. We're in panic mode.
Mike, yeah.
We've lost our goals. And that, again, pre-season game. But I look at that team that went on today, and it wasn't their kids. That was 90% of their team that would probably start against Chelsea in the first game. I haven't seen anyone linked to them. And, to be honest, what pool do they have? Who would want to go to Everton? They just escaped relegation last year with a goal scorer. Again, I'm not putting this on Frank. You know, he's gone over there, and obviously, it's he's kind of thrown. I don't know if he's thrown himself under the bus. You know, a big job in the Premier League is Everton's still a big club. That's a big job, but I think he's really put his boots on to get his work cut out there, mate. But yeah, I think if they start slow, mate, I think they're going to be chasing all season, and I think that drop zone could be in hanging around the area this year for Everton.
Spot on. Look, let's move on to some of the transfer rumours. Arsenal's very quiet. Zinchenko was basically confirmed by Pep and Arteta. That's basically done. But RJ and I did speak about him on Tuesday night. United, Robbie, I'm not seeing too much at the moment. Seems to be all quiet.
Yeah, look, we all kind of had a big week, obviously, with the official unveiling of Eriksen and Martinez, which, you know, he's yet to be a fit, we're yet to see him. But again, I think they're not going to travel out to Australia. We'll see them back in Europe. Again, I don't want to talk about the Frankie de Jong situation. I'm over it. For me, move on. Honestly, I really think there's no time. Don't waste any more time on him. Go. There has, since this whole situation looks like it could go sideways, Tielemans has started to fire up a little bit more in the links. And just as recently as today, I think it's Lucas Hernandez, the fullback at Bayern, who, I don't know how he's kind of popped up out of nowhere, but yeah, he was good in 2018 World Cup. I hope we don't go for something like that. Besides that, it's gone quiet pretty quickly, man. Fabrizio's come out and said we need a striker, but who?
It's all Barca, mate. It's all Barca's business. But to answer this question from Dieter, the Tielemans rumours, last I've heard, is that Arsenal now need to remove some of those fringe players, your Bellerin, Torreira, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Those kind of guys need to be moved for whatever the hell we're going to get for them before we look at Tielemans. But to me, I don't think there's much to this anymore. I was pretty certain it had happened, but if it was going to happen, it would have happened by now. We dropped 30 mil on Vieira. It just doesn't make sense. If we wanted Tielemans, I don't see why we wouldn't have dropped that on him. So I don't think he's going to be an Arsenal player. That's my hunch at this point. RJ, we know there has been some movement with Chelsea. Obviously, we talked about Koulibaly on Tuesday, but the Jules Koundé rumours have heated up a little bit. Just give us some quick thoughts on Koundé. You're on mute, mate. We can't actually hear your thoughts.
Yeah, sorry. Was just too busy thinking about how good Koundé is going to complement Koulibaly and Thiago Silva. But it's the long-awaited rumour that's starting to finally eventuate. It almost feels like the deal or the rumour has been as long as Koulibaly. It's stretched for many, many years. But Fab came out, 55 mil, apparently close to getting the green light from Sevilla now. So 5-year deal. If we get him, that probably means goodbye to long-standing captain Cesar Azpilicueta, one would think. I just think his profiles are very strong. Like if you look at his individual stats and if you watch him enough, you kind of get an idea. Basically, he's just a very progressive modern-day centre-back, very good at dribbling and carrying, very good at his passing, aggressive defensively, perhaps a little bit overzealous at times. But all in all, someone that's going to be helping the next gen of defenders come in. And yeah, I hope we lock it down sooner rather than later because we'll offset Christensen and Rudiger with Koulibaly and Koundé. And to me, that's quite an awesome substitution. So yeah, we're not silly enough to say anything's finalised yet because I'm sure Barcelona will come down with the stone cold stunner and swoop in at the 11th hour. But we'll see. I'm excited, but not over celebrating this just yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't be celebrating just yet. Question from Dieter in the chat on Sambi Lokonga. Look, I think at the moment Lokonga does stay for squad depth with us in the Europa League again. I think he'll be called upon for some depth. We don't have much in the middle of the park, to be fair. So I do think he stays. Declared asking, with Arsenal being undefeated all pre-season, how do you see him doing? I'm sure he's asking that tongue-in-cheek. At the moment, still too early. I'll speak to you about this at the end of the window when we do our season preview, our official one. And here we go. We got another one from Tom. How many clubs has this Barcelona situation affected? Well, it's affected all of our clubs. It's certainly affected all of us. I think it's double digits. This Barca situation, and if you didn't catch it, RJ and I did unpack this. No, I think we did it last Thursday. We did go into depth on it, but they've really shot a lot of teams in the foot, haven't they, boys? So what we'll do now, we're going to move on because we unveiled my FPL team on Tuesday. RJ is ready. He's got a draft. Obviously, these are subject to change. I'm going to chuck his team up. And RJ, just give us a couple of your thoughts behind your selection. So give me half a minute. I'm going to chuck this up. Being on a new laptop, I have to enable some access.
And while you're doing that, I was just going to mention as well, because of the whole Jules Koundé situation, and I know we're trying to offload a bunch of players to help bring down that wage bill. Alonso, Azpilicueta, Timo Werner would be another one if they could get rid of him. Same with Hakim Ziyech potentially. It will be interesting, but there's also talk, Robbie, you might have heard of this as well, with potentially Chelsea may be making a bit of a swoop for Frankie de Jong now. So I don't know how legitimate that is, but it could be quite interesting if that was, because that is an area of the pitch that we do need to strengthen.
Yeah, look, I don't know if it's a bit of a, his manager kind of throwing another club in there to maybe get the wheels turning a bit quicker or scaring, brother a Barca or a United. I don't know. But look, we've seen it happen from Barca doing it to everyone else, coming and cutting everyone's grass. So look, as long as Chelsea, I'm sure, have the money. They're a Champions League club, which, I'm sure De Jong would be appealed to him. So there's every possibility that can happen. I'm sure I'll probably piss a lot of United fans off that we've waited all transfer window and he's just slipped under the radar, but I guess we'll find out.
RJ, the floor is yours. I think your team's dreadful, to be fair, by the way.
We'll see. This is version 1, of course, but I don't know. I've obviously, the philosophy behind it is to have a heavy back sort of transitioning to the middle part of the pitch and taking a bit of a gamble up front. Naturally, with Martial, I'm rolling the dice a bit. He's good value. The bench as well, there are some starters there, even defensively, Vestergaard. So I don't know. For me, I've tried to pick some attacking-based defensive players at the back. So obviously Cancelo, Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, that they're good for goal and assist production. And I think defensively are quite sound players, more so on Reece James and Cancelo. And Romero, of course, strong. And I think Tottenham's going to be strong defensively this season. Got to go Salah and Son. They're your attacking outlets. They take up the bulk of my money. Neto, Coutinho was a fair price. And obviously Neto, obviously from Wolves. Mason Mount, I think because he's getting more leadership responsibilities, he's one of the mainstays in the team. He's someone that takes a lot of our dead ball free kicks and corners. So again, he improves a lot on that front. And again, Martial is a bit of an interesting one. I'm not sure 2 ducks out of 10. Is that 2 out of 10? I don't know what that means, but either way.
Look, I've got no ducks. I got nothing. So you beat me by 2.
Fair enough. Excellent. So look, ultimately, it's a defensively. I've stacked a lot of my money in the back, in the middle of the team, and taken a bit of a gamble up top.
Okay, Robbie, you're unveiling yours on Tuesday, mate. So at the moment, you've got to beat 2 ducks out of 10 because I've got nothing. RJ got 2. Let's see what you can get, mate. But I like your team, RJ. I think you do have some balance in there. All your midfield players are capable of a goal or an assist on their day. Obviously, Son and Salah are essential. With Martial, I don't know what's going to happen with him particularly when
early preseason. Like I said, it's going to change 100 times. If Ronaldo comes, if he's confirmed next week, that goes out the window pretty quick. It's like that for everything. Like I've seen someone in the chat bring up Haaland before, and I was mucking around with my team quickly today. I won't reveal all, but my first draft had Haaland. I took Haaland out today.
I did.
He hasn't had. Yeah. He hasn't had look, and I know it's still a couple of weeks to go, but everyone's expecting this guy to come in straight away. Look, I think he's going to have a great season, but I reckon there's a possibility he doesn't even start round 1. I'm going to throw it out there. There's a big possibility. They had one of their preseason games today. Nearly every single person come on he didn't make an appearance. I know it's nothing to look into. It's his birthday today. You'd think, they're winning the game. You'd think he'd come on and have a 10-minute cameo, first time in City colours and stuff. But I thought that was a bit weird. Like, obviously the other striker, they did buy 2 strikers, and I know he's the big name out of the 2. But the other guy, the Argentinian guy, he's come in and he had a bit of game time today. And like I said, I always like to look at the fixtures. West Ham away on the first game of the season, we all know City starts slow, is not a great fixture. I don't think they're going to go out and smack 3-4 goals against West Ham. So, look, that's just something why I've taken him out for today. Again, it'll probably change 400 times before the start of the season. Transfers pending as well. But, I'll drop my team on Tuesday for now.
Right, then I guess it's time for us to drop some quickfires. If we're dropping FPL teams on Tuesday, let's drop some quickfires tonight, boys. Why don't we go with you first, RJ? You got yours ready, or do you want me to start?
Well, you start, my friend, because I'm not as organised as you.
Okay. What's a movie you shouldn't like, but you really do?
Okay. I'll go first. Idiocracy. It's such a silly movie, but it's just the stupidity behind it. I just can't help but laugh about it. It's an old Luke Wilson movie, and Terry Crews is the president, and it's just such a good laugh. Got to check it out.
Okay. What about you, Robbie?
I don't know. It's such a random question. I hate these ones when I don't think about them, because then 3 days later I get the answer and then I want to drop it. I'm just going to say Titanic, because I love that movie and so many people were shocked that I've watched it about 1 million times. So, yeah, I'll just say Titanic.
Okay. All right. Well, for me, I'll probably go Grease. Like, I don't think as a bloke you're meant to like Grease, but mate, if that's on, I'll stop whatever I'm doing. I'll watch it. I don't mind some Travolta.
Legally Blonde, that's a shocker. Portrait, Jesus Christ.
What does he like about it, I wonder?
Maybe Reese Witherspoon if he's lucky.
You know what? We word on the street is we might be heading down to Football Capital HQ sometime in the next few weeks. Maybe after we record something, we'll chuck on Legally Blonde, crack open a beer and just have a good time, boys. Grease, yeah, good one. There you go, Justin. That's a good fella. Another one for me. Tacos, Taco Thursday. What do you like to put on your tacos? Like, if you obviously can't just have the beef, what goes in your standard taco, boys?
My Taco Tuesday for me, I love it. So I put obviously you got the bread, and then I put a bit of sour cream, then I put this brother mince or chicken, whatever one you want. I got lettuce, tomato, and then I got the guacamole. I put the cheese, and then you got to have the salsa sauce on the top, mate.
RJ, you have to let me go next, because the contrast between mine and Rob's is probably why I'm about 8 times his size. For me,
yours is probably bacon and shit on there.
Beef, you. Bacon, onion, mozzarella, taco sauce, mate. Maybe a smidgen of lettuce if I want a bit of colour, but you know what? That's all I need.
That's pretty much your kebab order. You've just swapped it from a kebab to a
Mexican kebab. Mexican kebab. RJ, what about you, boss?
You know what? I'm pretty plain Jane. Hey, like, it would just be either the taco meat or the chicken, be a bit of lettuce, bit of the cheese, maybe some sour cream, and yeah, not too much more than that. I'm pretty plain. So yeah,
get some bacon in there. It'll change your life.
Bacon's not bad. Bacon's not bad.
Absolutely. All right. That's me done, boys. I only had the 2 for the night. RJ,
Robbie,
you next. Robbie. Okay.
I'll wait for Scotty, because I've got my hit or miss section again tonight. I've gone with away kits. I think I've put up 5 of them, so we'll go through it. And like I said, everyone in the live chat, drop it if it's a hit or miss for you guys as well.
Okay, so Liverpool.
Is the screen blurry or what? Oh, that's just a jersey. No, sorry, miss.
That's it. It's a hit for me. I absolutely love it. I hadn't seen it till right now. Love it.
Jesus.
Love it.
It's. I hate it, so it's a miss for me.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I love it. It's a hit. All right, next one. Let me get that ready for us. You're just gonna have to be patient with me.
Was that a hit or miss for you? Yeah.
I said it's a miss. Good. I thought the screen was blurry.
Thank God.
All right. What about this one?
Mate, you know what it is, mate. I don't know, mate. It's the whole Sancho. Sancho is there. It's just a clean kit, and there's no bias in it. A black or a white kit, you can't be, mate. That's sex, mate. I love it.
Yeah, for me, it's a hit. I think it's a lot better than half the crap you guys have had over the years. So it's definitely a big hit.
Yeah, agree. It's a hit. It's a nice jersey, man. Well done. Well done, United.
Okay. Here we go. Let's get the next one up on the screen. AC Milan. I mean Man City. Sorry.
Jesus.
Feel free. Go, boys.
Miss for me. Sorry.
It's a miss. It's a bit like Darwin Núñez, man. He's been missing a few. This is the same.
Yeah, this is a dreadful kit. I've got absolutely no love for this. Horrible. Let's bring up the next one. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, here we go. The £1 million kit. Over £1 million in sales on its first day trading. I know your answers.
Yeah, it's a hit for me. I love a good black or white kit. It's clean. I actually like how they've got just the cannon. I like a bit of old school in there as well. It's clean as. It's definitely a hit for me.
Arjo.
Yeah, it's a hit. You know, if you can't play good football, at least you can look good in it, right? So what's the difference? Happy for Arsenal. Well done.
Kits FC, mate. They always produce bangers, I have to say.
Mate, it's on its way to my place, so it's certainly a hit. It's certainly a hit. We've got another one here. Just got to scroll through. There's so many. Robbie wanted to make me work overtime tonight.
Last one.
What is that? Is there a color issue? Like, you know, when you can change the fading, the color?
No.
That's it, is it? Okay.
I'd love to know what Marty thinks of this, honestly, because I couldn't see Marty wearing this one. It's a hard miss for me. I don't know if they're going nightclubbing or what, but yeah, it's a bad miss.
It's a rave. It looks like a rave, doesn't it?
It does. Even the picture, everything about it screams under 18s at King Tom. Tell you what,
this is back in Marconi. It was like Equinox and Marconi under 18s.
All this photo shoot needs is some glow sticks. Son just needs to be holding up some glow sticks, and we're good. It's hideous. That's an awful kit. It's
just
disgusting.
Quickly, boys. Obviously it's on the Spurs. I think City have got it too. What's your thoughts quickly on centre badges? For me, it's a miss. I'm not a centre badge person.
No, miss.
We had it for the Club World Cup when we won.
No, not the Club World Cup. Like when it's just like, just say Chelsea was just in the middle, like how Spurs and the City one is this year. So the club crest only in the middle, not Club World Cup.
Yeah, no, not for me.
Yeah.
You got any others, Robbie, or was that it for the night, mate?
That's it, man. Made you work tonight. That was my 5 hit and misses.
You did. But as always, from the three of us, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for joining us tonight. It's always more fun when there's people in the live chat sharing your views. Do not forget, we're back on Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. But RJ and I will be here over the weekend. You'll have to keep an eye on our socials and on the YouTube for the exact time. But we will be on here reacting to the Arsenal-Chelsea pre-season friendly this weekend. So make sure you jump in and share your thoughts on that. I'm predicting, just quickly, RJ, I'm predicting all joy for the Reds, mate. I think we're going to beat you 3-1. Give us your quick prediction.
No, I don't think we'll concede 3 goals. I think there will be a few in them. I reckon it'll be 2-2, actually.
2-2? Okay.
You guys played each other last pre-season as well, didn't you?
I can't remember.
I'm sure you did. Yeah, I think you had a 2-2 draw maybe as well.
But just confirm, it won't be watch-along. It'll just be post-match reaction because we couldn't do a watch-along together. A, it would probably turn violent. B, the language would be hideous. C, yeah, you don't want to see my boxer shorts at that time.
A and B.
Yeah, a little bit of both. But we will be back. Keep an eye on the socials. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment letting us know what you're looking forward to or who's excited you this preseason. And make sure you smash the likes on the way out. Boys, any final words?
Robbie?
Go United. Hopefully we get another 4 from 4 on against Villa on the weekend in Perth. And then I'll see you on Tuesday.
RJ?
Well done. Just again, if you haven't had a chance, check out the post-match reactions video I did with my man Statman Shane.
Take care, everyone. Look after yourselves and enjoy football.